Typically, when we talk about Marvel Studios films, they tend to do real good at box office and real good with critics. Eternals is the one that's the exception to this so far. Not doing so good with critics, doing alright with fans. The box office, well, that's the topic of today's video. And depending on how you perceive it, it's either real good or bad. But the bad has to go in quotation marks. So when it comes to the Eternals and those box office numbers, we'll talk about those in just a second. But yeah, make no mistake, the film flopped with critics. You can't literally look at the numbers and go, no, that's a lie. Like, the Rotten Tomatoes is out, the scores are out, the Metacritic is out, we've seen it. We all just have to admit, even if you're a fanboy of these characters in the film, even if you really like it, the critics just did not accept it. But that's fine. They don't have to like the things you like every time. How many times have we said this? Now, in terms of box office, this is where things get more interesting. Because currently, it's on pace to end its entire run in the world with somewhere around 415 to 420 million. That's the estimates. Now, give or take, a good amount of money. I don't even want to throw a number out there. If this was the pre-pandemic era, this would be a bomb, especially for a Marvel film. But in a day and age where, if we look at Black Widow, 380 million worldwide, even though it took a huge chunk of money from digital, still, it's going to pass Black Widow in terms of how much money it makes in the global box office. ShangChi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, well, that earned 430 million. So coming in right under that, I think there's quite clearly an interesting story here that many people seem to be looking over. People overblew expectations for many of these Marvel films and are still basing the failure, and I put failure in quotation mark, on things that we cannot compare them to anymore. We cannot compare pre-pandemic to post, right? Or during, or whatever it is we're currently at. I don't know where you live, so whatever, right? You get what I'm saying, though. Like, that's not how it works now. We can't have that. It's not the same. It's going to get back to normal some point down the road, but you realistically look at this, it's a win. I mean, Eternals and Shang-Chi will make more money in box office than Black Widow. Again, we're not accounting for Disney Plus. I know people are going to bring that up, but it's a different type of deal there, right? So this, honestly, is pretty good, and Eternals looks like it could end the year with a shot at being in the top 5 films of the year, with Shang-Chi, Black Widow, and Spider-Man. Meaning that only one film that's not a Marvel film would be in the top 5. I mean, I don't know about you. If you're doing a race with 100 people and you come in the top 5, that's pretty good. Yeah, sure, you're not the top 3, but you're still in the top 5. Don't hate yourself for it. I mean, sure, some people will call you a failure, but they're sitting on Twitter being keyboard warriors. You at least made it to 5th, right?